Let's look at approving a payment. So I have two payments here. One is expenses that needs an approval and March 10B that needs an approval. So if I want to go and approve both, I can always click both check boxes here. And I see approve, or I could even notify approvers. If I select this one that's in process, so I have one that's and needs approval and one in process, once I click the in process, the approval goes away because it's not applicable to the approve is not applicable to these two payments. The other way I can approve is by clicking on the three ellipses here where I can notify approvers or approve. If I notify approvers, I can select multiple approvers. I can select one, I can select all of them, whatever I want, and they'll each receive an email requesting that they approve this payment. The other way I can approve is to go into the actual payment detail page. And I can see everything about the payment before I decide to approve or not. So I can see the type, the funding account, all the way to this one is a recurring payment. It recurs weekly and the end date is April 24th. I also can review all my recipient information, including the addenda. I'm going to approve here. And you can see one thing that you should know, that it tells you when you need the approval by. So this business is set up for a last cutoff time of 5:45 p.m. So in order to reach the effective date of March 14th, this user, based on this business's risk level, this payment would have to be approved by March 10th. So users will need to click approve. They're going to get this modal. Do you want to approve this payment? And once the payment is approved, it's going to go into approved payment. So I'm going to click approve to approve this payment named expense. I do have an MFA option here just to make sure I am the right person. Now it tells me that payment is approved. Processing begins on 3/10. I'm going to go back to my ACH payment page, and you can see that it is now in approved status. From this point, once it's in approved, I can unapprove the payment. If this required more than one approval, you would still see that this needed one approval, and you could notify that approver too. So it really depends on your approval process, how many approvers that you require for each ACH payment. This business is set up for just needing one approver for each payment. So now I'm going to look at March 10th, and I'm going to go into the payment detail page to review it. I'm looking at the recipients. I'm looking at everything about. I noticed perhaps that the funding account says payroll, and that's not really where I wanted the money withdrawn from this payment. So instead of hitting approve, I'm going to select reject. And I'm going to say wrong account was used. Funding account should be. So I provided that rejection reason. I'm going to reject the payment. Once that payment, so the status before was needs one approval. Now you can see the status has changed to approval rejected. You can click on review history here or activity history. You can see it was rejected. And this is me as the focus customer, Buffalo Mountain Sport, and it does list the rejection reason. So if there's another person within your company who wants to see why this rejection happened, they're always going to be able to see this rejection notice here. Once it's in an approval rejected status, this payment can be edited. So anything about the payment can be edited except for the payment type. So if it was something with recipients, that can be changed or can go over to processing detail, and based on the note, I see that, oh, it shouldn't be that, it should be biz checking. So I'm going to select that now. I can change dates, anything about this. I could still do a pre-note. I could add a description, but I'm going to resubmit the rejected payment. Now, when I go back, so this payment name was 10B. Now I can see 10B is in needs approval. And my actions here are like expenses were, and I have the opportunity to notify approvers or to approve the payment. And that is approvals.